Hi everyone. Solving polynomial equations is an important strand in the history of mathematics that ranges from the very earliest writing of mathematics up till the present day. Now, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be discussing a couple of important episodes in the quest to solve polynomial equations. So one involves quadratic equations and another involving cubic equations. So mankind, early on in the history of mathematics, knew something about solving polynomial equations. In fact, for quadratic equations, if you look at the ancient Babylonians, as early as 1700 BCE or so, their tablets show that they could solve quadratic equations. And you see problem upon problem where they do just that. But what's missing from those tablets, and what was missing really from later efforts to solve quadratic equations, was an indication of a method that was being used to do these things. Now, this changed around 900 CE in the Islamic world of that time. In Baghdad, there was a mathematician by the name of Al-Khwarizmi who introduced us to the world of algebra, or al-jabra, an Arabic word. And in his work, we see for the first time not only solutions of quadratic equations, but we have some sort of insight about methodology. In particular, Al-Khwarizmi and his colleagues, for instance, Ibn Turk, used a geometric method involving honest-to-goodness squares to solve quadratic equations. And it's from their work that we get the terms completing the square. So that was an important event in the solution of quadratic equations. Now, for cubic equations, the water is a lot muddier, right? The ancients didn't know that much about solving cubic equations. There were certain instances of cubic equations that could be solved and analyzed in depth. In fact, Fibonacci, he of the rabbits, who lived about 1200 CE, one of the things he did was make a very careful analysis of a particular cubic equation. Now, the general solution of the cubic just remained out of reach until the early 1500s. In fact, in the late 1400s, there was an Italian mathematician by the name of Pacioli who stated flat out that he felt a general solution to the cubic equation was pretty far off. But within 30 years, this problem had been solved. And the solution of this problem is important not only for mathematics, but it sort of, in my mind, it marks a beginning of modern mathematics in the sense that, mathematicians of that day, sort of the later Middle Ages, early Renaissance, they were discovering the works of the ancient Romans and Greeks, and they regarded these ancients as, having this wonderful and superior knowledge. And with this accomplishment, the mathematicians of the early Renaissance surpassed the ancients and propelled us into modern day mathematics. So we're going to be learning about how the cubic was solved. So a couple of important characters in this story are Tartaglia and Cardano, who were involved in this initial solving of the cubic. And their personal story is of some interest because they had a very famous falling out, and we'll be learning about that as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoy these next couple of weeks as we investigate quadratic and cubic equations.